cutting and the making of a bucket hat. Okay, so now I'm going to use this as my pattern paper. First of all, before cutting it, you measure your head circumference, your head round this way. Measure your head round this way. Mine is 24. Okay, so I'm going to divide your head round. Divide your head round by 6.28. And when I divide my head round, which is 24, divided by 6.28, it will give me 3.9. To give me 3.9, approximately 4. Okay, so my head circumference, after dividing it by 6.28, I now get 4. So I'll trace my 4 round this way. Okay, I'll join my tracing. So I'll cut this out. Okay, this circle is the first base. So now, like this. See? So now I'll use this now to cut out my second base this way. You know, this bucket hat is of 3 layers. This is the first. Now I'm going to cut out the second base of it. This way, and I want this my second base to be 2.5 inches. Okay, depends on how you want the width of the second face to extend. Okay, so make sure it's facing this way. You see this this here will be the same as this side. Okay, let me still push it. Let me still extend it so it will be enough. Okay, you place this like this. Make sure it's well placed like this. You see here and here that is closed. Same with here and here that is closed. So you place it this way. Okay, let me use it and trace out my starting point. So I'll show you what I'm doing. Watch closely. So I can now remove this. So now from here, I will now extend down my 2.5 inches. My 2.5 inches that I want my base to be. You can extend your own to the length you want, but me, I want it to be 2.5 inches. So I'll place my tape this way. I'll mark 2.5 inches from here, from this line now, this trace line to the 2.5 inches this way. I'll mark 2.5 inches round. I'll now trace it. So now I'll cut this out, but I'll not cut directly here. I'll come up by half inches. Come up by half inches for your sewing allowance. Because if you cut directly on this starting point, the circumference will now be bogus. It will now be excess. To disrupt the the circumference. So to get the accurate sewing, you have to come up by half inches. Don't cut directly at the first place you started. So I'm cutting it out now. I'll now cut out here. Okay, see the second base, you see the first, the second. Now cut out the third face of this pattern. Okay, let me still fold it back because we use it to cut, to place on the fabric and cut it out on the fabric. Place on my fabric to cut out. Okay, now the final pattern to cut out now is, remember that head circumference, your head circumference, which mine is 24. I'll now fold this way. (24) divided by 2, which is 12 inches. Okay, you just fold your paper into 2 this way. Into 2 this way. And mark out my 12 inches because my head circumference is 24 divided by 2, 12. So I'll mark out that 12 inches. The length, which is 12 inches. The length, 12 inches. It's not up to, let me say, extend it. I'll now do it 13 inches. That is, I added 1 inches for sewing allowance. So I'll make it 13 inches. 12 inches plus 1 inch, making it 13 inches. Still extend it, it's not up to 13. Okay, 13 inches here, the length, 13 inches. Also, I want the base to be 2.5 inches this way. I'll mark 2.5 inches here. Okay, my base, my width, the width of this will be 3.5 inches, 3 inches, sorry. So I'll mark my 3 inches as the width, 3 inches. 3 inches. Join it. Okay, this is it. 13 inches by length, 1 inch sewing allowance. That's what made it 13 inches because originally it was 12. So I added 1 inch sewing allowance, making it 13 inches. And the width is 3 inches. The width from here to here is 3 inches. So that I will use half inches to join up here and down here. Then finally it will now be 2 inches. The width. So now I'll cut this out. Okay, so this is my patterns here. See, this is the first, this is the first base, second base, and the third base. So now, what I'll do now, I'll use these patterns and cut out on my fabric. I'll place these patterns on my fabric because it is a reversible bucket hat. Okay. So I'll use these 3 patterns and cut out on my working piece, which is my fabric. Okay, so it will be 2 2. This one, sorry, times 2, and cut it out 2 2 times 2, and this one times 2. Okay, let me cut it out, and then after cutting it out, I'll apply my interfacing. For a firm look, I'll apply hard interfacing on my fabric. On the first circle, see the fabric with their interfacing on them. Same here, this one, and finally this one. See, cut them all out. So now let's go over to the sewing machine for the sewing. So now I'm going to sew this way. First of all, I'll sew this one round this circle this way. Sew this way. After that, I'll now sew this one. So let's go over to the sewing machine. Okay, first of all, the first thing to sew now is I'll sew this round. I'll sew round like this. I'll sew round this way. Sew it round this circle with 1/2 inches sewing allowance. As I sew, I'll flip. Sew it round here. See my remaining sewing allowance. So I'll now join this here. It's coming in. The shape is coming out already. See, the first and second layer is out already. See. So the next thing now is to I'll now sew this round this way. I'll now sew it round. See, it's coming out. The shape is coming out already. I'll sew round this way. It's 1/2 inches still. So let me use this side.
Okay, so this is where it stops. So I'm going to sew here this way. This way. So since it's a reversible hat, I'm going to sew the other piece like I did here. See, the shape is out already. So make sure the places you finished your sewing are intersecting, just like this first two and the last piece. They are intersecting like this. Okay, I'll sew this way. I'll do the same thing on the other piece. Then I'll now use it to turn it over. Let me sew the other piece and show you the final look of the two pieces. So this is the two piece here. See here? The first one and the second one. So I'm going to sew it round this way. See where all these things intersected. So I'll make sure I start from there. So round. So round. Okay. I'll start here now to sew it half inches round. Sew it round. Then I'll leave a little opening from here to here to be able to turn it over. I'll sew and show you the outcome. I'm going to stitch here. Close this stitches. I'm going to sew here and close the opening where we turn this hat over. As well, sew round. Design it by sewing this base round. That is if you want. So this is my reversible hat. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See why it's a reversible hat. I can flip it over this way. You can use two different fabrics to blend, as in to beautify the color, but I use the same pattern to sew mine. So